Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another film review. Today we're going to be discussing Nicolas Winding Refn's The Neon Demon. Now I'm aware that this review is kind of late, but with anything, the UK always get films later than everyone else, except Marvel movies. We're thankful for that. Anyway, back onto The Neon Demon. So this film is directed by Nicolas Winding Refn, who also directed films like Drive and Only God Forgives and Valhalla Rising, but we won't talk about that. Along with directing the film, Nicolas Winding Refn also wrote the screenplay for the film with Mary Laws and Polly Stenham. I had been looking forward to The Neon Demon for the longest time. I am a really big fan of Nicolas Winding Refn's film Drive. It's one of my favourite films of all time, and I just really respect him as a director. He is unconventional and he doesn't do things perfectly, and he really just sticks to his own rules. So I have mad respect for Nicolas Winding Refn. So this film follows a 16-year-old girl named Jessie, played by Elle Fanning, who has just moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in modelling. But what she doesn't know is that Los Angeles is not the glitz and glamour that she expected it to be. It is a dark world. And when I say dark, I mean gritty, I mean messed up. If you've seen any of Nicolas Winding Refn's previous films, you know that he loves ultra-violence and things that are just not normal. And as Nicolas Winding Refn has said in many interviews, the way that he directed this film, he put himself in the mind of a 16-year-old girl, and that's just weird in its own, but I respect his methods. So in this film, we follow Jessie as she learns the ropes of Los Angeles, because she is that one perfect thing that everyone looks for in a model. She's young, she's beautiful, she's thin, and she's got that touch of innocence that everyone wishes they had. And along the way, she meets a makeup artist named Ruby, who's played by Jena Malone, two models called Gigi and Sarah, Hank, who is her horrible landlord, and her friend slash boyfriend Dean. Now if we start talking about characters in The Neon Demon, we could go depth under depth under depth of all these characters, because all of these characters symbolize something different. They're not just human characters, they are a symbolization of something else. Nicolas Winding Refn does love his symbolism and his imagery, and that is not short in The Neon Demon. There's a lot of characters and actors going on in this film, and I would say that Elle Fanning as Jessie is probably the standout performance. Jessie is the innocent, doe-eyed model that everyone wants. She really pulls off this kind of innocent look. You can kind of see that there's something eerie about her, that something may not be right with her as well. I thought Jena Malone as Ruby was really great as well, no matter how many of her scenes were very uncalled for. The modelling world is very kind of quiet. This is a quiet type of film. Along with his other films, there is a certain lack of dialogue, and there's a certain stillness of the Neon Demon as well. The dialogue used in the modelling world is very fake, and there is a lot touched upon between what is fake and what is beauty, and beauty is the only thing that exists. The way that this film portrays the modelling world, I feel, is quite realistic. I mean, he takes it to the extremes in certain points in this film, but I feel like the demons and the dangers of the modelling world are definitely put into this film. The way that everyone wants to be perfect and everyone wants to be somewhere else and they want to be someone else. I think that is really accurately portrayed in this film. The story at the beginning of The Neon Demon is something that I feel like I've seen on screen before, but everything kind of unravels itself and becomes something completely different from what you expect it to be. But you don't really go into a Nicolas Winding Refn looking for an incredibly detailed story. What Nicolas Winding Refn does is he shows you and he doesn't tell you, hence the lack of dialogue. And I think that works in this kind of fake modelling world where everything is very quiet, everything is very straightforward. One thing you can always count on in a Nicolas Winding Refn film is having it be visually spectacular. The cinematography by Natasha Baraya, which I believe that's how you pronounce her name, is stunning in this film. The use of colours, the use of mirror imagery, it's just so pretty to look at and is just done so well within the context of the story. If Natasha Baraya doesn't get an Oscar nomination for 2017, I will riot. And another thing you can always rely on Nicolas Winding Refn for in his films is an amazing score. I love the score of Drive. I listen to it every single day. But the score of Neon Demon by Cliff Martinez is another level amazing. One thing I really love about Nicolas Winding Refn's films, and Neon Demon in particular, is that you can interpret it in your own way. Nicolas Winding Refn doesn't spoon feed you any information. You have to work and pay attention to the details and little hints in this film to fully understand it and to interpret it in your own way. That's what I love about filmmaking and films, is that you can interpret it in whatever way you choose to, and you can conversate with other people on what they think a certain thing in a film means, and there is a lot going on with that in The Neon Demon. I did have a few faults with this film, particularly the pacing. The first act and the last act are definitely the best acts in this film. Between the middle it starts to drag a little bit, but every scene seemingly seems important. There are scenes that I feel shouldn't have been there, and do not make sense, but I expect that with Nicolas Winding Refn these days. He just does it for the fun of it. That being said, this film could have been shorter and a lot more straightforward if those scenes weren't in there for us to all interpretate and try and figure out what the hell they meant. I really loved the tension building in this film. I had my nails digging into my palms at points. I was fixated on the screen at all times. This film is hypnotic and it makes you think, and I just really loved it. If you know me, you know that I love the film Suspiria, and the Neon Demon is practically a sister or a cousin of Suspiria. And if you like the Neon Demon, go check out Suspiria. Yeah. I think after a couple more watches, I could learn to love the Neon Demon as much as I love Drive. This film makes you think, it has beautiful imagery, it has a beautiful score, and just layer upon layer of detail that you can interpret for yourself, and that's what I love about the Neon Demon. I'm going to be giving this film an epic win. It has its pacing issues, but I loved it. So those were my thoughts on Nicolas Winding Refn's newest film, The Neon Demon. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. And what is your favourite out of Nicolas Winding Refn's filmography? Let me know. If you like this review, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing lots more TV reviews and movie reviews for you guys very soon. As always, my social media links, including my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Letterboxd, will be down below in the description. Come follow me. And thank you guys so much for watching. That is all I have for you today. Bye!